We are minutes away from a huge weekend of international rugby getting up and running here on TNT, and as well as the rugby, we've got a huge clash from the Premier League as Spurs host Man United in North London. It kicked off a few minutes ago. A reminder, you can watch football and rugby at the same time through two separate devices through Discovery Plus. And Tommy Bowe alongside me. Man United are back. That's a good start to the day. Tommy, what can we expect from this game today?
Well, our Ireland rugby back. There's a huge amount of question marks around this Irish team, but there's a lot of new faces here today that are getting their chance, which we don't see too often, for Andy Farrell to put their hand up and show exactly how good they are and how good they can be going forward for the men in green. So it's huge excitement, full house here in the Aviva Stadium, and no better weather and day for it.
And they're all set to go, so let's go up to the commentary box for this one, where Joe Burns is flanked by a couple of former Ireland captains, Brian O'Driscoll and Rory Best.
An expectant Aviva awaits. Ireland return to Dublin after the most deflating of weekends in the Windy City. Did the tide turn irreversibly last week, or as implored by Andy Farrell, will Ireland turn the page? For Japan, there was no repeat of the miracle of Brighton, instead a walloping at Wembley, a decade's worth of revenge unleashed by the box. Warner Durns for the first time, and Caelan Doris for the first time in 189 days lead their teams out at the Aviva Stadium. Well, nigh on 250 years of shared history between the two unions, yet just the 11th meeting between the two great nations. History favours the men in green, but Japan will look to invoke the spirit of 2019 when they shocked the world and beat Ireland. Only Michael Leach remains from that group, but what a day for it. No finer sight as we ready ourselves for the anthems. Our run, Navian and Ireland's call, but first, Kimi Gayo, the national anthem of Japan.
Accompanied by the Ireland band under the command of Captain Tom Kelly.
All change for Andy as he welcomes the Brave Blossoms. The front row gets a facelift with the addition of Kelleher and Clarkson, and Tyke Byrne, the much maligned red card, rescinded, and Caelan Doris back as captain. It's a big day for Craig Casey. He makes up an all-Munster axis 9 and 10 with Jack Crowley once again entrusted at fly half. And it is Roy of the Rovers, the tale of Tom Farrell in the midfield for a debut. For Japan, limited changes, but so much inexperience. Kenji Sato in February was captaining his university side in the Japan Championships. But with Warner Dearns as captain and the might of Makisi alongside, there'll be plenty more punch for the Brave Blossoms. Naoto Saito has rejoined from Toulouse, where he's been learning the craft from the great man Dupont himself. He partners Shung-Sin Lee, the co-vice captain, and Yoshitaka Yazaki is also a university student. In the replacements, Paddy McCarthy is set to make his first bow at the Aviva, while Shinya Kimura will get a Brave Blossoms debut.
Oh, what a massive day it is for that man. For him, for his family, for everyone that knows him, all the minis coaches, all the schools coaches, the different club coaches that helped him get here, but he doesn't have to reinvent the wheel today. He got here because of the game that he's shown over the course of the last year, in particular with Munster. So play that and play it hard. Good luck to him.
Yeah, and from a Japanese point of view, you feel if they're going to have success today, they've got to get across the game line. And that man, Ben Gunter, alongside the number 8, Makisi, are going to be vital for that.
An Italian job today, Gianluca Gnecchi leading a trio of Italians in Matteo Lipperini, Andrea Piardi, Federico Verdavelli, and the FPRO Eric Gozan. Well, the rugby gods are smiling upon the Aviva today. Do they smile upon Japan or Ireland on the field of play? A lunchtime reservation in D4 to open up our feast of Quilter Nations action. And goodness me, Epineri Aluaviti wastes no time in introducing himself to the Irish team. A bruising carry and an exit from the boot of Crowley, up and under. This is the aerial battle everyone's been talking about, and while Stockdale's there first, maybe there's a knock-on. We play. Crowley looking to find a seam with the hard-running Baird, one of the few shining lights from Chicago a week ago. Doris.
Got a knock-on.
Well, it looks like we will come back for that knock-on, but early signs of that aerial contest.
Immediately a much better start from Ireland. Really nice little interplay. Couple of phases down their own 22, and then Jack Crowley decided to go aerial bombardment. Stockdale couldn't quite hold on to it on that occasion, but that won't be the last opportunity that he'll have to reclaim ball in the air. It's going to be such a key component, not just of this game, but of the international game going forward now with these new laws of no blocker runners, clear access for the team that has kicked it to be able to have an even contest up in the air, regain possession.
I think this is going to be a vital part for Ireland. This set piece has been talked a lot about over the last 6-9 months. So look, scrum's going to be vital, as will the line out. So let's see how this first one goes.
And Naoto Saito just about gets the ball before the scrum completely crumbles. And a bit of power in the midfield before Japan think about some width, but Kipe Ishida pops up on the inside, a two-time Olympian in the shortened format of the game. Shiwakawa gets dished up. Tyke Byrne looks to clamp down and make a nuisance. He will be raring to go after the injustice of Soldier Field. Saito to Gunter. Japan lacking punch and penetration against the Springboks last week. There's a big onus on the likes of Gunter and Co, and Shung-Sin Lee will be hoping for a bit more front foot ball to build upon at fly half. Makisi, another carry, then the captain Dearns. He seems vital to their go forward with so many small players amongst them. He's one of their biggest units. He's going to give them advantage line, eke out hard yards. Lawrence acting as the fulcrum there, and wow, Ireland, that is a fabulous bit of play. Japan forced to hold on, and Tommy O'Brien in the thick of it.
Yeah, Japan very much playing the same way. They're trying to get the width, and you just have seen in that last passage of play, Ireland are going very, very hard off after that breakdown. There's some unbelievable guys at the breakdown there. Doris, Tagburn, Nick Timoney.
Crowley, not a dead cert to start this week. There was talk of would Prendergast get given the go, and he had plenty to say about the 10 situation. Eddie at his bouncy best in the press conferences this week.
He's got plenty to say about everything. He was picking sides himself before they're actually come to pass.
Well, Seung-Sin Lee coughs up the ball, and Casey Smart to it. Here's the debutant Farrell, but misses his mark. Ireland forward pass. Almost fashion a break, but the knock-on had already come.
Yeah, Ireland will be a little bit disappointed with that line out, but I think the big thing is they got in, they got set, they were quick, and they actually had hands free in the air. Just a little bit of nerves that happens the first line out, especially when you've been under a little bit of pressure. But they managed to get the breaking ball, but yeah, they'll need to tighten it up. I'm sure Paul O'Connell will not be happy in the stand as usual.
A lovely attacking opportunity though for Ireland. We saw in that first scrum they certainly looked as though they had the squeeze on Japan with their put in, a bit more control with it being their possession. Crowley sitting in behind. It's all about what the Japanese defense does. If you get a right shoulder up here from an Irish perspective, you've got to go down that right hand side, but expect Japan to filter over to that bigger blind side. Lots of options available.
Well, they have the penalty in their back pocket, and Tommy O'Brien is finally fed a bit of ball to work with, but his grubber ricochets off some Japanese shins.
Under pressure collapse.
To the corner, you'd imagine.
Yeah, I would think so. I think probably, Brian, from a back's point of view, there's nothing better than getting that penalty advantage. That rock-solid scrum, it allows you to have a go at something, and that bottom corner was on. It was just a real pity that Tommy O'Brien just couldn't quite get the ball in behind.
Pass was just a fraction loopy, wasn't it? That's a good idea from Tommy O'Brien, just the execution wasn't quite what he wanted.
Well, the scrappy start has fashioned an opportunity from the tee for Crowley. One that he'd relish as an opener. Got Ireland rocking on the board in Chicago last week. And history repeats itself to the pleasure of the Aviva against Japan.
I remember in my goal-kicking days, the ones in front were a nightmare because you're expected to knock them over. Give me a touchline conversion any day of the week. That's where you're way more fluid, but these guys are different gravy. You just expect to knock them over at every opportunity.
Yeah, and I think definitely not against taking those 3 points. Just calm the nerves a little bit, get ahead of the scoreboard. There's plenty of time to go into the corner later on.
Well, there goes Doris. I think it's safe to say that he missed the action. A 13-tackle cameo in his brief spell on the field last week in Chicago. He's spoken of a reflective time during the Lions and resetting himself personally as a player, and even a digital detox, so much so that he didn't actually tune in to the last 2 Lions tests. He watched the first one with his mates in the USA, and then went dark. That's like a caged animal unleashed last week, and he gets the full start. Beautiful line against that seam between the tail and the 10. And Shimakawa builds on the play. Gunter takes a couple of green jerseys to halt him. Lawrence still Uluiviti Now it's on. Japan just thread a tricky ball through and ask Yazaki to hair after it, and that's nice.
Beautifully slick handling from Japan. Really nice phases. Just a little breakout and initially a really great hard line back where the ball came from, but not overplaying their hand. Again, living up to their reputation of being very, very quick rookers of the ball. Big in their arsenal, making sure defenses don't have an opportunity to set. Really, really nice from Japan. Simplicity, very effective.
Yeah, I think by contrast, that the passing from Japan looked so slick, so accurate, right on the money, whereas Ireland, even when they were trying to exit there, was just a little bit, as we would have said, like back shoulder, just checking those players and just taking a little bit of the momentum out of the attack.
Well, the salvation of the touchline safely found by Crowley, but it's a far brighter start from Japan this week than it was against the Springboks. They'd been mauled into a concession within the opening few minutes. And now it's their chance to launch from a full line-out just on the doorstep of the Irish 22. Luiviti, prominent in the exchanges so far. Makisi as well. Lawrence just sees the ball dislodged, but fortunately for Japan, backwards. Luiviti again, delivering on what Eddie Jones has demanded of him. And Yazaki yet to play a professional club match. Shimokawa. It's muscular defence from Kelleher, and the rest of the rear guard attempt. Burns just tries to lurch through with that 6'6" frame. Saito just sees the ball slip through, and it's loose, and it's open, and it's in the grasp of Crowley.
Stop. Okay. Okay, play it on. Hold in front. Inside.
Bit of hesitation for a moment, but nice angle garnered. Osborne doesn't find the paint. Instead, he finds the counter-attacking ambition of Yoshita Yazaki.
Go, go, go.
They're on here if they can shift it wide. A couple of big forwards out wide.
Well, they've heard you, and Warner Durns is one of them. He sizes up Stockdale, slips through the right shoulder of the Ulsterman, and then Makisi is back on that line against the grain. Lawrence to Kobayashi, who gets boomed. No one at home for Ireland here. It's Stockdale scampers across. And Crowley finds the touchline, but Saito links up with his half-back partner. And now it's the turn of Tomoki Asada. Oh, it's a gorgeous ball, drifted over the top, but just slid forward for Gianluca Gnecchi. Well, the Aviva was purring at that one.
Yeah, look, it's so far the Japanese have been a joy to watch. Again, we talk about that pass accuracy, their ambition to go, their willingness to play. It probably just drifted forward a little bit. But it's just brilliant, their breakdown work, because you can see Ireland trying to chase them down, but their efficiency there has been incredible. And when you watch them, as soon as they don't get the gain line, they just come back down the blind side, and it's almost like a reset for them to go again.
Plenty of play, but little penetration in an attacking sense from either side so far. Just the three from the boot of Jack Crowley to report.
Asada playing very deep here. A great opportunity for Tommy O'Brien if he moves from behind the scrum down his blind side. Asada cleverly has moved forward.
It was laborious ball for Casey. Almost the chance was gone once Japan identified the shifting Crowley and O'Brien, and it's messy in the contact area. Gunter first to pounce, and once again Japan are flashing down the 15-metre channel. They've opened Ireland up. Slipping inside. Such elusive feet from Asada, who drives into the 22.
First man.
Tommy O'Brien has saved the day because Asada's foxing feet had Ireland at 6s and 7s.
Use it.
Calm descends.
Onside chaser.
And Casey burrows the ball back. You are allowed to get your hand in there to aid it on its journey now. It's all to help the flow of the game. And speaking of flow, well, Japan are fluid right now. Oh, matadoring stuff from the Japanese attackers. Then it's Mikisi, bringing a bit of brutality. Japan starting the brighter. More cohesive. Charlie Lawrence gets caught low. That was a hit that needed to be made. But a neck roll denies Japan the opportunity to build further.
Oh, they're playing with a tempo at the moment that Ireland are really struggling to live with. And in fairness to them, they've defensively been able to scramble when they have been squeezed. They've got themselves back in the point. An improvement on last week.
Yeah, perfect.
Defensive numbers in this initial 13 or 14 minutes, but they have been squeezed with the pressure of the continuity of this Japanese team. Really, really good quality ball handling, rejuvenation of the ball, and here's a little turnover, and the speed of these outside backs. But it's also the change of transfer of where the ball is, constantly move the ruck.
It's a really beautiful combination of some real physical carries from their forwards and some unbelievable footwork and acceleration from their back line.
Well, Rory, the line-out's gone awry again here, and it was a thorn in the Irish side in Chicago. They lost 5 of their 16. Much food for thought for Andy Farrell. Japan weren't much better, but it hasn't started so well for Ronan Kelleher here.
This feels like a not back in my day sort of moment. It wouldn't have happened.
I'm definitely not back in my day when the Japanese are here. We do not want to go back to 2019 if we can avoid it.
We weren't going to mention the trauma, Rory. We weren't going to mention.
But that was just looked like a little bit of a miscommunication. The first one was a bit of an overthrow. They just now got to get their composure, shorten the line out a little bit, go to a couple of their quick movement balls, maybe a throw jump. But this is where you need your leaders to stand up so they can get that. Just take a breath and understand that they've been all week practicing as a unit and just go back to their basics.
Balance, please, again. Quick reset. Let's go.
Those stats say it all, don't they? Look at the number of carries, triple the number of carries. Likewise, meters made and broken tackles. They've been all about possession. They've kicked so little ball away. Conversely, Ireland have decided to go to the air and long a couple of times. Maybe they just need to hold on to a bit of possession, squeeze this Japanese defense.
Henshaw receives it direct from Casey. Farrell is upended awkwardly.
Lifts in tackle there. It's a PK there.
Forward pass
or
called
at the scrum.
before the
So let's
tackle came in.
Okay, Kieran, you got 2 infringement. Lifting tackle there or the scrum. Okay, at the scrum. Scrum, lose it. Yes, on the 15, please.
It's a difficult one from Lawrence's point of view because the
Time
momentum,
off,
Farrell naturally is going over the top of him. He doesn't help by finishing through on the tackle. If you listen to the referee speaking with his TMO.
Well, it wouldn't have helped that Charlie Lawrence is 5'6" as well. In terms of getting under the Munsterman, there's no malice in there.
No, but in real time it looked a little bit. It did look like foul play. Now you look at slowed down. Look, ultimately you can't take the legs up past horizontal. There's no malice in it, and Drick was right. You know, momentum kind of takes him that way. But ultimately, once you keep initiating that left pass.
Yeah, I'm on a yellow card on this, send it to the bunker. Correct? Okay, matter number 12, yes. Correct. Okay. Time back on. Okay, Warner, and number 12, please. Number 12. Number 12. Yeah, it's a lifting tackle. The player lands dangerously, meets the yellow card threshold, goes for off-field review.
I think that's a tough break, I really do. I think a penalty, could have sufficed there. As we mentioned, the momentum of Farrell, he's already pivoting forward, his head is dipping down, and naturally when the impact comes, the legs rise. Maybe he could have pulled out of the challenge a little bit. It's perceived as finishing him off and driving him into the ground, but a couple of factors were working against Lawrence there.
Well, Lawrence, a yellow card against Australia as well a fortnight ago. That's when they fell by just 4 points before heading over to Europe, and it's an emerging centre partnership, Lawrence and Riley. And 10 minutes they'll be denied in terms of forging better bonds. And Ireland have wasted no time in sending it to the touchline. A dummy throw from Kelleher, and well, that telepathy is completely absent right now.
Yeah, look, for Ronan Kelleher now, it's a very, very tricky place to be. You've lost your first 3 line-outs, and you can see the hesitancy. The grand bird is kind of half moving. It's like we said earlier, this is where you just want a definite let's go in quick, win the ball, and give Ronan Kelleher the best opportunity.
Do you go back, Bessie, to throwing to 2, guaranteeing possession if you're having difficulties early on like that?
I think the big problem is the way Japan are defending is they're moving up and down, and you can't take that very quick ball on that sort of 6-7 metres. There's a good example. Let's just win the ball and play, and let's see what sort of phase play Ireland can put together.
Oh, the Aviva begins to roar, and Stockdale gets his first carry of the game. Doris just absorbs a hit from multiple Japanese defenders. And now Henshaw goes as first receiver. Numbers queuing up out wide for Ireland. Byrne with the smart hands. O'Brien linking wide and then bouncing back in.
The advantage.
More fluid from Ireland. The hole opening up. A chasm, in fact. Ireland in behind, and desperate defence from the Brave Blossoms. Casey looks wide. Doris to Crowley. Try time for Ireland. They've huffed and they've puffed, but at long last they click, and Crowley finishes the job.
Much better from Ireland, much better. Continuity, cohesion, good ball handling, multi-phase options. The deceptive runners looked as though they could have gotten every single one of those passes. Makes the defence stick on the inside, and then eventually an overlap. Coming from slick handling from Captain Caelan Doris to Jack Crowley, who adds himself as an additional man off his shoulder. Very, very good Ireland. Just what the doctor ordered.
Yeah, and I think on that point, Rico, it's exactly what has always been missing a little bit from some of this Irish attack, is every single option. They could have hit anyone there. The forwards, even if it was going out the back, were still carrying hard to the line. Last minute out the back, or last minute tip or carry. It was brilliant to see.
No high degree of danger. Okay. Captain, we just had a recommendation from the bunker. The yellow card will remain a yellow card, no high degree of danger.
Warner Dern's informed that Charlie Lawrence will return in 6 minutes and a bit of change. Remains a yellow card, not upgraded to a 20-minute red, as seen with Ty Byrne last week. Well, Japan have played all the rugby, but it's they who trail by a double-digit score, and a high hanger is watchfully claimed. And that try It really feels like a settler for here in the Aviva. There was just an air of anxiety about the way things were unfolding.
Use it.
And even from the team's perspective, just reminding themselves of what good rugby players they are, and when they put the quality that they have talked about into from practice into match game day, it just inspires confidence, builds belief, particularly the knocking that it would have taken, how much their attack game struggled last week. All you need sometimes is to break the seal, and that was a great one to do that.
Here's the mark.
Yeah, sort of now at scrum time, Japan have sort of tightened it up a little bit. After the initial 1 or 2, there was penalty advantage on the previous one because it went down, but I think Ireland, they're 10 points ahead. They've got this man advantage. They're going to really want to now get a foothold in the game, and it can put some pressure on Japan.
Bind. Set.
Irish scrum in the ascendancy, but Saito whips it out, and Asada arrives from the left wing. Bit of footwork from Kobayashi, a hallmark of the Japanese game. Dexterous, mobile forwards. Luaviti is a bit more of the battering ram type. Huge work rate, though, from the second row to this point. Shuhei Takeuchi, former back rower, gets buried in the middle, and they pick and go through the heart. Saito looking left, and it's not gone backwards, but it's in Irish arms, and Tommy O'Brien again dropping on the tumbling ball.
You just wonder, I know Ireland have the ball now, but when Japan have the ball with being a man down, whether they just maybe need to kick a little bit more to try to conserve that energy, just play field position and put the pressure on Ireland.
Osborne on Casey's wavelength, and Ireland into the Japanese half once more. Crowley, cross-field, height mismatch, Stockdale just misses out to Yoshitaka Miyazaki. And Byrne slips it out the back. Osborne rips one off the left hand. Tommy O'Brien, foot to the floor, but almost wrong foots himself. Porter, deft hands into Clarkson, but he sees it slip from his grip.
Now, inside, still advantage for the knock. Use.
Kenji Sato sets up the clearance.
And use it.
For Saito.
Advantage over.
And touch is found safely.
Yeah, very smart exit. Get the ball off the pitch, wind the clock down a little bit, and keep trying to apply pressure on that Irish line out. Japan will be happy with those couple of defensive sets they've had.
Yeah, much better accuracy with the crossfield kick this week.
Seven called.
It was adjudicated that Stockdale didn't knock that one on. Japan scrambled well. Ireland just lacking a little bit of killer instinct down in the red zone, deep in Japanese territory.
First man. Yeah, not
well, the line out does ultimately end in Irish hands, and Henshaw takes it to the line. Osborne and Farrell, a hint of crossing. And the new combinations looking clunky once more.
Oh, that one is marginal. That is very, very unlucky. There's a very, very late change in play. It's Osborne comes short. I think it's committed from the
we have to ask the bench.
Defensive player. I think a lot of the time you will see that being given.
Let's go, guys.
The green light for the attack. The ball, he doesn't take the ball in behind the player, he takes it outside him, which is the important factor there. He doesn't run in behind the player that is the screen runner, he actually accepts it past him, which is within the legalities of the game.
Ishida made quite a meal of it, which probably influenced the referee.
Well, Dern's squabbling in the air with Ryan Baird, using every inch of his extensions to claim it cleanly for Japan. Off goes Takeuchi.
Rack is formed, playing the ball
But
from an
illegally
offside
so.
position. Offside the rack form.
Different variety of penalties starting to hurt Japan just as they get into good positions. It's 4-0 on that front. Referee saying that the ruck was formed. He wasn't entitled to play it with his hands. Again, I don't know what's wrong with that. Provided at least one foot is behind the ball,
I'm in charge of that, okay?
you're entitled
Clear
to
number,
pick and
guys.
jam that.
5 and jump into the line out, please don't wait outside.
If both feet were in front of it,
Yeah,
you have to leave it as a ruck.
yeah, it's very hard. It's very harsh on it.
Kelleher follows your advice, Brian. The banker ball at the front. And finally, Ireland get the opportunity to form a maul. Side got thrown over by Stockdale, but he drags down the Ulsterman in the process. Crowley urgently clapping his hands. Clarkson on the carry. Crowley. Ireland looking for that hole, but
Advantage.
too tight for the hands,
Accidental
and
collision
Stockdale
here.
at pace. And again,
Still
Japan
not an
find
advantage
themselves
for
with a bit of
Japan.
turnover ball.
See? Inside at the moment, yeah. Still not an advantage, guys. Lost now, Green. Advantage over, was inside.
O'Brien plucks it before it crosses the touchline.
Yeah,
And the Brave Blossom just invite another Irish attack, but once again the ball carelessly presented. But another roll of the dice. Neither side truly cherishing possession at this moment. Osborne almost slipping his way through. Ryan made his second Ireland appearance against Japan back in 2017. Many with formative memories against the Brave Blossoms in green. Now Farrell steps in. Henshaw just manipulates the defence and goes basketball style to O'Brien.
Ball's lifted.
Doris at pace, pumping the pistons, dragging Japanese men with him. Henshaw taken low. The Japanese defence is standing up well to the wave of Irish attacks coming their way. The second rows combined.
Ireland just splitting the resources a little bit, having half the team on one side of the field, half on the other. They need to just keep going the same direction. They're going to get some mismatches.
Nick Timoney, foot to the floor. He just loves to score in green.
Yeah, I think. Look, what do they call it? A commentator's curse. You're sort of talking at it. It was really going nowhere. Nothing happened. A couple of mishandles. Next thing, the ball bounces. And Nick Timoney has an abundance of pace. Brilliant finish. I wouldn't say it was exactly tactically how they wanted to unlock Japan. But like I say, sometimes that bouncing ball does funny things, and then they play from it and Nick goes.
It's the thing about the bounce pass. Everyone switches off for a split second, but once it doesn't go forward, that's when you need to heighten your anticipation that danger may lie ahead. Timoney was sharp as attack there. He realized the opportunity when everyone just relaxed defensively. He switched on and
Thanks, Matteo.
got those pistons motoring, as you said, Joe.
Yeah, Dirk, I think for me, I'd just like to see them play a little bit more in the front line. Ireland try to dominate that gain line a little bit more. Almost a little bit the way Japan have been playing, you know, dominate the gain line with some big forward runners and then try to manipulate the space a little bit better. It seemed to be one out the back a little bit early, but maybe that's just a front five's point of view.
Well, I mean, the architecture isn't going to make an end of season highlights reel. It'll get played at Christmas in the Timoney household, no doubt, but the setup more akin to what you might find on a Sunday morning watching your kids. I mean, Timoney's an interesting topic, though. That's his 5th try in 5 appearances for Ireland, so he always makes an impact, yet those have come across 4 years. Well, what does he have to do to get a run?
It's very tricky because in those 4 years, Josh van der Fleer's probably been one of Ireland's form players. The problem with both of those is very hard to have them in both of them in your match day 23. They really, like Nick will play 6 and 8 for Ulster, but at international level, you feel he's an out-and-out 7, the same as Josh.
Tackle on the ground.
But he has certainly been in fantastic form for Ulster over those 4 years as well.
Japan need a response. They've shone in glimpses, but they're yet to trouble the scoreboard, and Luaviti just stretches his legs, and the instinct to find Makisi was there.
Oh, that is so close. He didn't need to throw that incredibly loose offload. Another phase, they were in behind. They'd done the damage. And that's just such a loose one.
22, you said, Matteo?
Makisi, I think it is, on the inside. Sees the line beckoning, but actually one more phase, particularly the speed of the ruck ball that they're generating. They would have had Ireland in disarray.
Guys. Let's go, Ireland, please. Number 2.
There's no doubt about it that the introduction of Luaviti and the elevation of Makisi to the starting 15 has had a profound impact. They were bullied by the Springboks, weren't they? And they're doing everything that's been asked of them by Eddie out here.
They've been significant, haven't they? When you look at the diminutive size of a number of these backs in particular, you've got to have some punch up front, and they are bringing it in spades.
Fine. Set. Use it.
Highlands.
Was upside.
Swipe it clear. They swipe it clean out. An error from Osborne. And just another opportunity for Japan to maybe launch one before the half is done. Some sum up for Jamie Osborne as a late lines injury cover for player King Horn. Versatile, getting a bit of a run at full-back right now. Stationary, Charlie Lawrence not. Hard, direct. Bowls into the Irish defence, and there's a penalty for Japan to use as an insurance policy. Gunter. Oh, Farrell swallows Seung Sin Lee there. Big tackle from the Munsterman. And guess who? Luaviti. Mountain of work. Now Japan have almost opened up Ireland again on that short side. They're getting some joy on those short tip passes. Flashed across the face. Lawrence drives ahead. Saito just puts a little too much fizz on it for Ben Gunter. And another opportunity spurned.
Massively important intervention from Robbie Henshaw here. It was a beautiful short line picked by Yoshida, and that's going to be a 5-pointer for sure if Robbie Henshaw doesn't scrag him. Not only does he make the initial tackle, gets up and back ends it as well, forces extra players to commit, slows the ruck ball down for another second, allows the reinforcements to get into the defensive line. Quality play from the Leinsterman.
Into the corner, the Brave Blossoms probe. Their best opportunity of the half, as close as they've been. And they find Makisi just about at the tail. And they've got some more advantage to work with. Irish indiscretions
on the arm
beginning to pile up as Warner turns, flashes forward.
Marcus here.
Another very good line-out drill from Japan.
Immediately if they want.
Obviously their technical advisor, Victor Matfield, is doing some great work in there.
If you want to go straight to the line-out, if you want to kick it.
Yeah, we'll wonder now if they'll maybe look at a bit of a trick play, or whether they'll go straight for them all.
That's Andre. Yeah.
Six to Amat. And Gunter offering the punch. Well formed, rocking and rolling round that left corner. All hands to the pump for the Irish forwards. As more break blossoms pour forward irresistibly. We'll go to the TMO. But what's the question?
Time is off, guys.
I've got the ball on the line.
Ground, on the line.
On the line.
Yeah, we can award the try.
Yes.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, tries awarded. They deemed the ball to be on the line, therefore it's a try. I think if you look at this maul, they just get that back corner of Ireland. I think Ireland will be really disappointed as how they didn't stop that maul earlier. But what you're looking for as a defensive team, you're trying to pin the two corners so that the team can't move it either infield or towards the touchline. And Japan got to that back edge of Ireland, and once you get past that initial stop, it's very, very difficult to stop it legally. Caelan Doris did a good job to always stop it, and then that last bit of momentum. Quite hard to see who scored it.
It's great officiating. It's, you know, it's not leaning on the TMO, and I think it's Piardi is the one that came in as assistant referee. He was the one that said he saw it on the line. It's been inconclusive so far with the pictures, but we'll give him the benefit of the doubt that he had the best vantage point.
Well, that's the thing right there. World Rugby are so eager for the decisions to be made by the men on the field, and Piardi's come in there with the big call, and just seeing that, it does look inconclusive. If it had gone upstairs, maybe it wouldn't have been a score. So the officiating team stepping up, and Japan very much on the board. And the mauled try burnished by the boot as well. Ireland 17,
All good.
Japan 7. Doris collects. Clarkson, Henshaw. Just renewed desire in the Japanese defensive line, and the loose ball is found by Crowley, but he's swung back into his own half.
Now ball is here, no impact.
Timoney, the try scorer.
And use it.
Just over a minute for Ireland to navigate. And this one's contestable, dinked up, O'Brien slaps back,
Not an
and
advantage.
well, not for the first time. Ireland's efforts to sweep up the crumbs have come from a fumble.
Advantage over.
Oh, stopped out, hits Ishida hard, and somehow the 5'5" winger bounces the 6'3" Ulsterman. Japan, a score now completely changes the complexion of the half-time huddles. Just smuggled to the edge. Oh, but the communication breaks down with Saito screaming through. Still there for Japan.
Advantage.
Derns in the midfield. Leaves Byrne for dead. And there's more advantage. Irish penalty stacking up. Gunter looking for the offload, but opts to hold. McKesey, more meters for the number 8.
Good. Go back for the offside. Yes. Okay, number 4, never back on side.
Oh,
Number
it's
4.
lovely. Slick handling once again. They get to the edge. Crowley gets sucked in. There's almost a little pass to himself in the end. Doesn't go to hand, but he's able to regather.
Time is off.
That would have been some score if they'd managed to connect. No panic. Ball went backwards and they go again. Yeah, just a number of penalties starting to accrue.
Okay. Mark is here. Time back on.
Just speed and accuracy of the Japanese attack is incredible. Whether it's in phase play, turnover ball, they're just, that pass accuracy is a joy to watch from this vantage point.
Okay.
Tomoki Osada looks the best
Time off.
winger in the world right now. He's nearly at
Time off
100
check.
meters made, and
Yes, Matteo.
well, we've got some intervention.
Green.
And it's the hit that we celebrated because of Ishida's ability to bounce out, but it, on reflection, looks reckless.
I don't know if there's a huge amount in that, is there?
Closer angle, please.
Where's the connection? Is it head on head?
Contact, if there is head contact.
Oh, it's a glancing blow.
That's the angle with the head contact. So
I think the mitigation is that very late change of direction. There's not huge force. Maybe a penalty will suffice here.
bunker anyway. Yeah. Please, guys, give us some space.
Yeah, I think Jacob's in a position to make
Matteo,
a
are these all the
tackle. He's
angles?
bent over.
Yes, Gianluca.
Okay, go back on me, please.
Yes.
It's got to be marginal, isn't it? At the discretion of the referee, you can see these just being penalties. I've seen them given as yellow cards as well.
Okay, Matteo, I have a decision. So we do have head contact. It is foul play. The player can be lower, so he meets the yellow card threshold. It goes for off-field review.
Correct.
Number 11. No, it's too much.
Yeah, like you said, Brian, it can go either way there. For me, he's down. He's in a position to tackle, but ultimately, it is head contact. So therefore, they didn't deem those
Okay,
enough
Japan,
mitigation
we can
to go
restart the
from
game.
red to yellow to just penalty.
You staying here?
We were talking
Okay,
before the game, Brian, and
Okay,
you
time
brought
back on now,
up the
shot clock on
difficulty
from
in
16.
tackling
Mark is not. Mark was there.
players who were slung lower to the ground.
But also the speed of the change of direction as well. That's so significant as well. Not only are you having to adjust your height, 6'3" man versus 5'5", but then you're talking about hundredths of a second decision to step off his right foot back inside. It's just so difficult to adjust.
Stockdale can only watch on as Japan split the uprights, and their two late scores mean it's game on heading into the second half. Crowley and Timoney have delivered the tries for Ireland. Both kickers impeccable from the tee. But the converted try from Japan and the late penalty means it's a one-score game at half-time here in the Quilter Nations Series. It is Ireland 17, Japan 10.
Ireland lead on a busy day of international rugby on TNT. We go from Dublin to Paris via Edinburgh, where we'll find Emma Dodds.
Hello and welcome to Scottish Gas Murrayfield in the heart of Edinburgh. And just look at this. Vantage points don't get much better. We're up here on the roof enjoying the calm before the storm as Scotland look to scale the heights of international rugby and bring down the famous New Zealand All Blacks. It has never happened in 120 years, but join us later on to see if Scotland can deliver a performance and bring some noise. Take it away, Callum.
The question is, can Ireland deliver a performance in the second half? 17-10 with a man in the bin. Joe, all yours.
A man in the bin sent there
Peter, can I ask you if I'm televised?
by Gianluca Gnecchi.
Deliver the decision from the bunker, so we're waiting the TV and to be put on. That's the yellow card.
Do you have the decision?
Yeah.
And it will remain a yellow card, mercifully for Ireland and Jacob Stockdale.
Change of direction.
Say it again.
Change of direction. Because there is a step. There is
Anything you're saying, Jack?
Again, I
Sorry,
think
no, nothing more.
common sense is prevailing here. That late change of direction is enough mitigation. Looks
Okay.
like he's picked up a little scar in the process.
All right. So we have a recommendation from the bunker, guys.
You didn't. So saved by the absence of danger.
We have a recommendation from the bunker. The yellow car will remain yellow car. There's a change of direction mitigation.
But we knew that already, didn't we, Joe?
And Peter, can I go? Thank you.
Ireland leading Japan, but with the momentum and, dare I say, elements of the Aviva against some lacklustre first 40 minutes. One of enterprise and inspiration from Japan. And they look to clear the decks. And the outstanding Asada is picked to the climb by O'Brien. Callagher, it's all about his line-out throwing, but the carry is half decent too. Crowley wanted a 9-iron, found a lob wedge. And Japan and Warner Durns, who's shown himself to be such a complete second rower, footwork and handling. Asada sees the ball skip across the touchline.
Okay, perfect. White line out.
Japan don't want to get drawn into this kick game. You know, they've been so effective with ball in hand. They've stretched Ireland so often that I know they don't want to play deep in their own territory, but they certainly don't want to get into any kick contest. They were so effective holding on to the ball at will in that first half.
I'll give you time, Matteo. Time is off.
Well, a damning line-out stat there, 100% for the Japanese. So much pressure on Ronan Callagher, and he's a man with plenty of caps, but not loads of starting caps, Rory.
Yeah, and it can be very, very different coming off the bench, going into a line-out that's already functioning versus starting a game. Because in many ways it can be difficult coming off the bench because you're under a bit of pressure to keep that rhythm going. Like, I think they'll have spent most of the half time as a forward unit figuring out how they're going to get that line out functioning better, because their scrum is very much on top. They just need better line out ball, and we know from this Irish team that they need a functioning line out for their attack to really function properly.
Boyne! Set! Green collapse.
Seemed rather harsh to me now, but on the first, a view from up here, it looked like Ireland going forward, and it's a very brave referee to penalise the team that are going backwards, especially when Ireland have shown themselves to be dominant in that first 40 minutes. It will give Japan a really nice access into the Irish half. Just like Brian talked about, you know, they kicked a lot at the start of this, and they'll want to play, and it's a lot easier to play when you're in the opposition half.
Well, Eddie Jones there, he's got a real all-star backroom staff. Gary Gold in defence, Owen Franks, a World Cup winner, to a real scrummaging technician, and aforementioned Victor Matfield as well as a technical advisor. And it's doing all the right things for their set piece right now, Japan. Mikisi, as if shot from a cannon, but coughs up the ball. Kelleher fashions an offload to bed, and
still not on advantage.
Doris is alongside him. Shirks off the challenge of Gunter.
And use it!
Ireland just desperate for a bit of rhythm.
Over.
Crowley will climb highest this time. He doesn't take it cleanly, but Clarkson's there.
Backwards.
Another ball goes loose. Brave Blossoms flying up. There's room here. There's Farrell. There's Osborne. And now there's Tommy O'Brien. Just fouled as he was slipping it into sixth gear. Crowley tips it on. Green jerseys flooding at holes in the Japanese defence. Crowley already a try, and well, he gets slammed. And then another knock on.
The break was good, but there's so many handling errors in there from Ireland.
Oh, it just continues to be really sloppy from Ireland. Passages of excellent play and offloading and cohesion, and then just as there's a need for that cutting edge, they just cough a ball up. Oh, there's a big whack from Jack Crowley. I don't think there's a whole lot in it. It's good.
Not at the moment.
Low body position now. There's nothing there. He felt the force of it.
Yeah, funny, in real time it looked like it might be a little bit nastier than it did in those replays.
Well, he's been some introduction, hasn't he? He was only called up a couple of weeks ago to the main squad. One thing very exciting from a Japanese perspective, less so if you're a Wales fan, is that there's the potential addition of Harry Hockings to the second row as well. 6'10", 124 kilos, and part of a mini Australian young talent exodus a few years ago, along with Isaac Lucas, and he would have been involved now, but he becomes eligible next week for the Wales game.
Well, he better be ready to sit on the bench, because these two boys today have been outstanding. Derns, 6'8", 120 plus kilos, brilliant footwork on the line, and Ulaviti as well has been outstanding. Other than that one loose offload, he's given such brilliant advantage line, brought that brunt force to the attack. Really, really impressive from the number 4 and 5.
A stable platform. Saito shifts it right, and now Kipe Yoshida
committed,
gets taken out after he put the laces through it. Farrell was committed, and Yoshida has stayed down. Yazaki,
touch,
the Waseda University fullback.
Stay now.
And the most kicking that we've seen from Japan all match.
Inside.
It's not something that's in the toolbox in their league system over in League One. Eddie Jones has spoken about their need to adapt to Tier 1 rugby playing conditions. What they bring to the party right now is more than enough.
That's why that Japanese league is so entertaining to watch. The ball and play time is ridiculous. It's just at odds with test match rugby, and sometimes you need to find the happy medium to be able to navigate your way against bigger, more physical opposition than the Japanese often encounter.
Across. Jumping across, affecting formation of the line out of the move. Jumping across.
Yeah, Ireland win that one, but very, very heavily contested. Deemed to be jumping across. That stops the formation of the line of the Irish maul. Therefore, it's a penalty. But Japan are using a pivot system in this defence to try to really have two options to go up, and it's causing Ireland a lot of problems.
Stockdale continues to serve his sentence with a high shot on Kipe Yoshida, and Ireland wastes no time in deploying Robbie Henshaw, who gets clubbed in the midriff by a big right shoulder. Doris on the wraparound. Oh, it's desperate defence. Makisi has come from nowhere.
Last for Japan.
The Aviva were urging the ball into Tommy O'Brien's hands. Instead, it's now Byrne, toe-to-toe.
The ball, tackle now.
Number 5 to number 5, wrapped in Warner Dern's tentacles. Farrell scrambles forward. Crowley just drifts it deliciously into the grip of O'Brien.
Last foot.
Baird ignored. Porter plunging to the line. Ireland have dug deep, and they've gone to one of their big game men. Andrew Porter crashes over for Ireland.
Yeah, much better from Ireland. It's taken them a few minutes to get into the second half. As we were talking about guaranteeing possession this time off, The line out at 2, not ideal for getting deep into the midfield. It didn't bother them all the same. Really good loop play around the back from, I think it was Doris, and then look at the aggressive running from Tommy O'Brien. He runs with such huge intent, be it with ball in hand or defensively, and then it just became a power game, and no one better than Andrew Porter in there, Betsy, from close quarters.
Yeah, and again, it's like you talked about in the first half, Drico, when Ireland are getting to the line with 2-3 options, Japan a lot of the time are making bad reads. See Sheeta on the far side, bit in, unbelievable cover from McKessie to get back to him, but again Ryan Baird an option, goes across the front of him, asking questions of these Japanese players under pressure, and like you say, Andrew Porter from that range is very, very difficult to stop. Great finish, great play from Ireland.
What a titan for Ireland and Leinster the 29-year-old is. Doris skirting round the edges before going full frontal into the Japanese chase. And Crowley, having pushed the conversion right of the uprights, finds the edge of his boot as well on the clearance. And, well, for the 92nd time, an icon of Japanese rugby enters the field of play. 37 years old. He made his debut in 2008, nearly 17 years ago. Michael Leach.
Yeah, what a player. Actually, again, I don't want to reference 19, but I remember him coming on in that game whenever we felt we had the ascendancy, and his ability to lift the players around him is phenomenal. What a servant to Japanese rugby.
He's got a big role to play, and his years defy his deeds. Enormous amount of positive impacts on a match, and so too the man who's now the captain, Warner Dearns.
Good reload.
Luriviti still full of running, and look, press gang by the Irish defence. 3 of them to take down the second row. Leach with another carry. McKessie.
Advantage. Roll away, Green.
Oh, there's room now. But Ireland scramble across. A lot of hoop jerseys running at gaps. It was a clumsy transfer.
Go back to your fringe,
and ultimately a knock-on.
In the way, slowing down the ball.
Well, Stockdale returns to action.
Captain. Line up.
So Ireland have enhanced their lead despite being down to 14 men.
Yes.
And Andy Farrell brings the changes.
1 red off.
Jack Conan, now a 2-time tour test Lion, flanked by 2 Prendergasts. Well. Cian and Sam, the brothers.
I think we are okay, Peter.
On for Crowley, on for Timoney, and on for James Ryan.
We can go 10.
And in amongst there as well, Kenta Kobayashi, replaced by Ryosuke Iwaihara. And he'll be straight into the thick of things here. We all know what happened last time. Japan had a line out in this region of the pitch. They opt against the maul, which served them so well. And Louis Viti sees the ball crowbarred from his grip.
Brilliant from
last foot,
Cian
Japan.
Prendergast, straight on the pitch, making a
hold in front, Green.
Big difference.
Always on.
Stripping the ball from the big second row. Regathering it. Oh, they're off again, though.
Oh, they're not hanging around. They just love fractured field, and Yazaki just about delivers the ball to Charlie Lawrence before the tackle comes in. He's still refusing to go to ground eventually. He tastes the turf. And that tip-on might have worked out nicely. Saito to Seung-Sin Lee, co-vice captain, and the first touch of the match for Sam Prendergast. who didn't have much time or much opportunity to make a positive effect last week in Chicago. A more generous chunk of the match now.
Goes inside. No, last foot 9. Last
For
foot.
the Leinsterman
Use it.
to put his hand up once more for the starting berth at 10.
Last foot, captain. And use
Expect
it.
a big half an hour from Jack Conan as well. He had 0 minutes on the clock going into that All Black test last week. Be better for it.
Finally, Ireland managed to scoop up a loose ball, and the blitz from McKeesey just shut off the option sufficiently that Ireland had to carry close. Prendergast, double pump, picks out Stockdale, looking to make amends. The hazard offender clinging to his bootstraps is Shida, the man who he is yellow carded for. Doris on the inside ball. Prendergast taking it flat, Porter. Now it's Farrell, and an ambitious ball to O'Brien, again dribbled through, but Yazaki's wise to the threat. The charge down from Cian Prendergast, Stockdale! It just had to be! No try in 4 years in green, the last here against the Brave Blossoms. He returns to the field to haunt Japan once more.
So clearly in front of the
Yeah,
kicker,
there have
correct?
been 2 massive moments from
sorry, was you
Cian
Andrea?
Prendergast since he came on.
Yeah, okay. I thought it was Federico, yeah. Yeah.
Try, we need to check the 9 in front of Mexico.
Yeah, Matteo, please, time off. TMO check. On field decision try, we need to check if number 9 was in front of the kicker, always advancing. 82. That's all.
Okay, Gianluca, so your field decision is try. You want to check a potential offside by number 9, green.
Green always advancing on the kick.
Okay, Gianluca.
We're looking at the impact of Craig Casey after the kick through from Tommy O'Brien, I think, down the right.
And number 11 as well, to check if he wasn't offside.
It's obviously it's more about Stockdale, because Craig Casey has no bearing on it. He was meant to stop running because he was in front of the ball, but he doesn't actually have any effect on the ultimate outcome. Stockdale, on the other hand, no, he's onside.
Yeah, we got 2 players in front
Cian
here.
Prendergast isn't.
They're advancing.
They make pressure on that.
This
And he's the one that gets the
he's
block.
the one who charged down the ball. Was always advancing.
Correct.
Prendergast. Yeah. Both of them. And the one who charged down the ball, yeah. So it's clearly offside, Matteo, so we have a decision.
Okay, Gianluca.
The player is always advancing, being offside, so no try offside.
Yeah, look, ultimately he's offside, but it still doesn't take away from the 2 big moments he's had. Yes, he's offside there, but this is the big opportunity for the bench. When you come into a flat game and a game that the team that you're playing for is expected to win, you have a real opportunity. A real opportunity to make a big impact and turn this game.
Okay,
It's a really slick passing from Sam Prendergast really early on. He's whipped the ball out to the wing on a couple of occasions, created space for his wingers who have had limited supply.
It would have been a really, really good finish too, and just that's what Ireland need from their wingers. They're getting in play. The amount of times you've seen Tommy O'Brien on the wrong side getting involved, the same with Jacob tracking play. I know it was ruled out, but that's what Andy Farrell will be wanting to see.
Epineri Louis Viti gets the most well-earned sit-down in Dublin, replaced by Jack Cornelson. An immense display. And Cornelson, who really is a back row, masquerading as a second row, though he does so for his club rugby for Saitama Wild Knights in League One. He's on, and he'll bring a bit of dynamism too. Kenji Sato, just his second test cap, having got his first last week at Wembley against the world champions. Cornelson ignored, Leach injected. There really is a fluency to Japan, and Asada, well, just as you say it, gives the ball to McKeesey that he didn't want.
Really does look very, very impressive from Japan. Just that's probably the first bit was seen where they just went a little bit out of sync. But they've been picking some lovely options. The pass quality is unbelievable. And just sure who it is.
McKeesey, isn't it?
Yeah, I think Riley just gets a little bit ahead of him or outside him, makes the pass a bit difficult.
Is the mark, please, Captain?
Come on now, Court, let's go.
Crouch! Bind! Set!
Ready. That's it, TC.
Stockdown moves late down that left edge and takes on Sato. Scoops it past Leach. Prendergast.
On the ball.
A bruising entry. Almost into the 22. Brother Sam. Boot to ball. O'Brien can't quite gather.
Guys, not over.
Oh, so close. Incredibly close. Tommy O'Brien was full bore onto this one. The ball just needed a touch more elevation for him. He was doing everything he could to put the afterburners on, but it just dipped a fraction in front of him. But brilliant from Cian Prendergast. Really good few moments in this 5 or 6 minutes that he's been on the field.
I think both Prendergast and Jack Cohn have been very impressive since they've come on, and they've added lots of energy, getting gain line for Ireland.
Yeah. Changes to the Irish front row. Ronan Kelleher and Tom Clarkson's races run. Gus McCarthy onto the field, and so too Finlay Bealham, who will wish for fonder memories here than last time he was out at the Aviva internationally. That was in the colours of the Lions in the defeat to Argentina. If we can cast our minds back all that way. Gus McCarthy, a really exciting prospect, captained the under-20s to a Grand Slam, second in the World Rugby Championship. So there is this breed, this young generation coming through for Ireland who've enjoyed a lot of age group success.
Number 3 and number 8, correct? 8. And number 3, guys. Okay, 3 is walking up this way.
Some replacements for Japan as well.
Are we good, Peter?
Takeuchi, Naoto Saito and Sung-Sin Lee leaving the field and being replaced by Keijiro Tamefusa, Shinobi Fujiwara, who is a real live wire of the 9. And it is a debut for the Verblitz's Shinya Komura. And those Japanese players who've just bounded on are brought straight into defensive duty. One of them is Ben Gunter, who's replaced Paolo Makisi. Prendergast has really livened up the attack. There's an evident willingness to be running off the young 10. But Ireland have got themselves embroiled in a clinch here with the Brave Blossoms, and they'll get the scrum.
They just got a little bit static on that carry. There was no real acceleration onto the ball initiated by Prendergast, and then it's a bit of a collector's item. Someone like Andrew Porter getting held up. That doesn't happen very often. Brilliant Japanese defense, waiting for the referee to call maul and digging in, knowing they didn't have to roll away when it eventually collapsed.
Yeah, I think right through that pass to play, there was some very, very physical defence from Japan. They're not making it easy for Ireland in their own 22. And from the Japanese point of view, they'll need a rock-solid scrum here to give themselves a chance of an exit.
Bind! Set!
Leach picks,
Ripping down.
goes, and Doris
Okay,
tracks
stop
him.
now, 8. Don't swing. Use it. Hold in front.
And Japan clear the decks just as we approach the final quarter of the match.
The energy's slightly gone out of the game, hasn't it? Didn't have that intensity of the first half. It's been a bit stop-starty, a bit more kicking. Similar kind of fluency from Ireland. Some good stuff, some very clunky play.
Tommy O'Brien has been a bright spark. And Osborne at full extension just loses his stride, and there's enough of a stumble that he's tackled past the 10. Casey, such high demands of himself today. He said he wanted to come on and steal the show last week. He took full responsibility of the Cam Roygaard try. And now he's trying to drive the tempo. Both these sides thrive on quick ball. There just hasn't been enough of it for the Irish. Shoveling the ball around in reverse. Casey travels back into a bit of heavy traffic.
You don't need to give it to the smallest guy to truck it up.
Byrne thinks twice about doing a Bergamasco there at the base.
Take him back.
And Prendergast puts a little too much on this. Asada shouldn't have any trouble, but Stockdale is there as a welcome committee.
Inside. Use it!
Fujiwara
No, not clear for me. Not clear.
hooks his right foot round the ball. Not too much distance made. And, well, that'll probably be the last act from Craig Casey as Caelan Blade of Connacht comes on for his 4th Test cap.
It's all a little bit loose and lacking in structure, and really feels from up here that just needs somebody to, at those moments when they lose a bit of shape, just to grab the game by the scruff of the neck and get Ireland back into a little bit of shape and structure. That's what's going to beat Japan.
Stockdale has looked threatening when he has had the ball. He's just been living off scraps out there. Conan only knows one way, that's into other humans. Beelum. Farrell, it's been a muted debut from him so far.
He's had very little opportunity, in truth. Very little possession, very little opportunity to get, you know, his game going, his offload game, running off shoulders. Just hasn't really fallen for him.
Tommy O'Brien, however, has made his own luck. Oh, and he's almost carved out a beauty for Stockdale. But he finds the touchline.
More frustration. Good intent with the running, just pins his ears back, gets into the space, and just one double pump too many. He needed to go, and he got it back into 2 hands. He didn't need to throw that additional dummy. The job was done. Another frustrated man on that left wing, and Jacob Stockdale denied early on, denied a second time now with a loose pass.
For the mark.
Well, it's not going to go down as a classic, this, lads.
Small, don't change green now.
But you look at someone like Tommy O'Brien, he is making his own luck. He's hunting for work. He's trying to make sure that he comes away with his name embellished, isn't he?
Yeah, and I think he has. He's worked incredibly hard. We touched on it earlier, where he's going to the other wings, looking for the ball, trying to make things happen. It is no lack of effort. And I actually think of the Irish players, he has definitely done himself no harm. If you look at the couple of mistakes he's made, that knock onto the crossfield kick was incredibly difficult take. That pass, he did everything right, Bran. But like you say, just the little dummy inside that he didn't need to do, takes a split second off, and then you can't get the ball away to Jacob Stockdale.
A true Gary Owen, diffused expertly by Yazaki. Yazaki gets cut off by Prendergast. He's just got enough toe to reel in the young fullback. For a moment, We thought it was going to be a special one. Lawrence, who has worked tirelessly, carried for some really unglamorous meters. Leach leaves the precious cargo behind.
From red, sorry.
And now Ireland have got numbers. Ireland are abound with numbers. Stockdale, frustrated, just accelerates and forges ahead to the halfway. Conan gets his arms behind the tackle. Baird rides the challenge next. Henshaw, Farrell, Porter. Thinks more wisely about releasing the pass.
Offside, yeah. You're 13 the kick.
And a penalty
offside
for the Irish.
What a take this was. Soaring high in the air, but he wasn't content with it. Look at this little slalom run, using the power. Blade won't be happy about getting a bit grabby with the tackle. I thought he had the legs on Prendergast, but he was able to get himself back in the point.
Peter.
And then for any baseball fans out there, are you a baseball fan, Joe?
Big
Cal Riley.
Big guy, big baseball guy.
Are you good, Michael?
Well, he's
okay.
Seattle Mariners catcher. I imagine probably appeal more to the Japanese audience. They'll have been enjoying Shohei Ohtani.
Sure did.
The Dodgers pitcher hitter.
We were watching it on Saturday night. Incredible finale. And the game went to a decider, the best of 7. The Dodgers managed to get the better of the, was it the Blue Jays?
The Blue Jays, the Toronto Blue Jays. I thought you were the baseball guy.
I am, just for this soundbite.
Tell you what, Rory, he's done well, hasn't he? 65 minutes and 12 seconds to bring up that he was in Chicago. It's not bad, eh?
Yeah, he has. He completely lost me in the middle of all that, so maybe a refresher, Brian, would be great.
Well, I mean, in amongst all of that fun and reminiscing of Chicago times, we're seeing the departure of Jamie Osborne there and not looking particularly sharp as well. That could be a loss that is felt keenly into the bigger tests of Australia and South Africa to come. Jimmy O'Brien on now. And Gus McCarthy just in the chariot looking for a bit of horsepower from his teammates, and he's getting it delayed. One last propulsion. And Gus McCarthy on his 7th cap gets another try in the autumn.
Yeah, really well worked maul. I thought just before they got that secondary movement on that the referee might have called for them to use it. Japan initially do really well. They're pinning those corners, not letting Ireland get any access. And then, Dricko, as you said, from a back's point of view, Tommy O'Brien coming in and adding that little bit of impetus. Tagburn, Keelan Doris at the front. They weathered the storm, they dug in, and then eventually the Japanese cracked. They only needed a second more probably to hold it out, and the referee might have called use it. A well worked maul.
We
nice
see
enough strike.
Backs so often coming in. Sorry, Joe. We could see backs coming in so often, and occasionally add value, sometimes not. But watch Tommy O'Brien here. Watch his position. He comes in legally. He latches on to Gus McCarthy, and then he moves himself forward to create a little bit of separation between he and Gus, an extra layer, and allows McCarthy to be able to power over.
Inside Ireland Alpha. Here's the mark.
So many teams these days have a number of backs piling in, but it's just
I'll give you the mark now.
Tommy O'Brien. He latches on to McCarthy on the back and then slips himself forward, and that's just a layer of security that actually gives a bit of space between the would-be Japanese defenders and the ball carrier, McCarthy. Very well worked.
Bind. Set.
And after the exploits of Gus, we get ourselves another McCarthy. Paddy, unrelated, though the latter Paddy, the brother of Big Joe. And that is definitely forward from Blade.
Forward pass.
And a promising opportunity is lost.
No, no, ball was clearly available at the back, and then we have the collapse later on, but no moving forward. Pardon?
Well, what do you think is going through his mind right now, guys?
No moving forward, and then all
frustration.
The collapses, okay?
Frustration at not putting to practice what they've been talking about. They worked on over in Chicago, and this week they feel as though they're very close to clicking, but just hasn't been able to be transferred in these last 2 test matches. He's going to have to look at some of the highlights, some individual performances, people digging in, but there's plenty to work on over the next 2 weeks when you come up against what looks like sterner opposition in Australia next week, and then obviously the Springboks in 2 weeks' time, world #1 team.
An error from the boots of Yuya Hirose. And Eddie not a fan of his work on that occasion either.
No lip readers needed.
Japan. Hey, Mark! These guys, got this on me.
He likes it. Likes a bit of rugby in the autumn, does Gus? Trying 3 assists in his debut against Fiji last year, and he's got 1 against Japan now. And he seems to have solved the line-out woes. Farrell slipped through a hole by Prendergast. It's beginning to open up a little as we head into the final 10 minutes. No-look ball to Baird, who thunders in, but it's pure aggression and abrasion from Warner Dearns.
No advantage.
The Wellington Hurricanes are going to enjoy his arrival when he goes for a 1-year sabbatical, but he is a guy, Warner Dearns, that Japan can build their team around for the future.
There's plenty of good ball players in their team, no doubt. Nice slick handling from Ireland. Farrell correct not to throw the offload. He just got it caught on his inside and was kind of suffocated. I tell you, his brother's been good. Sam has been good since he's come on, but Cian Prendergast has been very, very impressive with this little cameo. If we are trying to look for some green shoots and some positivity, he's been one great addition to the matchday squad.
Yeah, he's been knocking on that door for a while. Has put in some very, very good performances at club level. And it's great to see him getting rewarded at the Aviva Stadium and taking it as well.
The line-out woes, no more for Ireland, and they are filling their boots with runners charging onto the ball with gusto. Off goes Paddy McCarthy, almost slipping to the paint. Instead, Caelan Blade forces his way in. But Paddy McCarthy, on his maiden bow at the Aviva, has a first try for Ireland.
Yeah, well worked, just taking it through phases, and it shows you don't always have to take the right option. A couple of times they maybe could have moved it, but just showing that power game. Like you said, Joe, just the fact that the line-out is functioning better, a nice little peel around and just putting pressure on Japan. And yeah, great pick and go against the grain. And that'll be a lovely moment for Paddy McCarthy at his first appearance at the Aviva Stadium for Ireland.
This time from nigh on a carbon copy, Sam learns the lessons of the last and splits the poles. Are you watching Big Joe? There's a new McCarthy in town.
Parents are going to have no issues with tickets for the next 10 years. They're going to be handing them out to all of their friends.
Well, a lovely story. His good mate Gus McCarthy did his jersey presentation for Chicago, and Joe obviously wasn't there, and he was joined on FaceTime. So it's a nice moment for both Gus and Paddy, and well, for anyone called McCarthy, I'd say, in Ireland today. They've certainly livened up what has otherwise been a rather abject Ireland performance. It's one that is going to secure the victory, and there'll be no historics for Japan, but there might be a little bit of razzle-dazzle to finish things off. Derns feathers it backwards. Asada, what a joy he's been to watch in full flight, but too tight to the touchline, and Doris gets his man. Well, Rory, we've seen a few smart performances out there today, but who are your runners and riders for the Quilter Player of the Match?
Yeah, it's been quite hard to pick this, to be honest. The Quilter Player of the Match. I think from a Japanese side, Werner Derns has been very, very good, been very impressive the whole game. Andrew Porter, from an Irish point of view, has shown a bit more what we expect from him. Caelan Doris looks like he's starting to get back to where he left off the end of last season for that injury. And then Tommy O'Brien, with that maul assist, has to be on there.
Oh, the first player to be in contention for a maul assist who wears 14.
This is Ireland in a nutshell, isn't it? Some beautiful slick handling, and then when it comes to the killer pass, it just hasn't happened for them. They've just misfired time and time again, forcing the pass. It's a very difficult pass to make from Stockdale, even a man of his talent, at full tilt, off balance, to throw one-handed back inside, okay? 5 meters.
Guys, we had any issue with the previous hooker. Okay. Now you're starting doing issues now. Sorry, yeah. Okay, stay on the mark.
Well, a hint of the handling troubles that both these sides have encountered today, and it's in no relation to the conditions that we've enjoyed today. A finer day could not be served up for a bit of running rugby. Fujiwara looks to bring Japan to life once more. That is lovely hands under duress in the midfield, and Asada can't scamper clear of Tommy O'Brien. Lost at the base. Prendergast pops it up. O'Brien for the line. Tommy, like a tornado, blows through the remnants of the Japanese defence. Sam the man with the assist, and Tommy O'Brien brings it home.
It's become a little bit of a blowout, probably undeservedly so. From both teams' perspective, Japan have been very good for large parts of the game, just getting a little bit loose at that ruck. Lovely sleight of hand from Sam Prendergast. And Tommy O'Brien, one of your Quilter man of the match possibilities. Is that the defining moment that will get him the award? No more than he deserves. He's worked bloody hard all game. Had some close calls on making line breaks and having the killer pass.
I think it started off Dricker with very, very good defence by Tommy O'Brien. He looked like he might have got caught, got back. He makes a tackle, he gets back to his feet alongside Jimmy O'Brien, impacts the rock, impacts the quality of the ball for Japan, and then, like you say, gets it on the end of a nice little pass from Sam Prendergast. Will that be the moment that gets him the Quilter Player of the Match? We will have to wait and see.
You do terribly on the traitors, Rory. Prendergast has shown himself well, and Jimmy O'Brien wants to get in the act, and it's just not going to be Jacob Stockdale's day, is it?
Delightful again from Prendergast. Beautiful, holding the ball to the very last second. Watch this. Just holds it and commits that defender in, and then it's just creating a 3-on-2, and there has to be a bit of subtlety to that pass from Jimmy O'Brien. He's fired it at Jacob Stockdale's inside shoulder. We're all feeling that frustration with you, Jacob.
Absolutely. I'd say from Andy Farrell's point of view, Sam Prendergast has caused him more headaches. 2 or 3 weeks ago, we sort of the Crowley Prendergast sort of thought maybe got number one emerging. I think today Sam Prendergast has been very, very impressive since coming on.
Contract is good.
Well, Conan and Cian Prendergast too, and it's the former who's pilfering ball on the deck. O'Brien, Yazaki, loose ball, and Jimmy O'Brien doesn't have the sticky paws to gather it in.
There is the game in one snapshot. You know, some lovely stuff as Jonathan Sexton looks on.
Okay, so it's a PK against Will, correct? Okay.
Just couldn't stick for Jimmy O'Brien,
Guys,
unfortunately, as the line was beckoning.
Diving on a player on the ground, so it's going to be PK. Diving on a player on the ground. Thanks, Matteo.
Well, 41-10, it feels unjust for the Japanese side of the scoreboard.
It absolutely does. I think, look, the second half, the handling error stat came up a few moments ago, and it showed that Japan were slightly ahead in the handling errors, but the majority of those have come in the second half. Like, ultimately, with the man down in the first half, the way they played, you wondered whether they were going to run out of steam a little bit, and Ireland have capitalised on that.
Shoda Hira is on, by the way, just his second cap, and Conan again into the fray. A little bit of power and punch from the Lion. And Farrell to Stockdale, as it is time. Gets caught round the laces. Once again for McCarthy. Prendergast spots a bit of room that no one else does, and it won't fall kindly for him. That was an unkind bounce of the ball away from undoing Japan once more.
Use it. Use.
Last play of the match.
Last foot. Time just off it. Yeah. Use it.
And Fujiwara is happy to call it a day. Well, the Aviva tentatively breaks out into applause for a performance from Ireland that was by no means imperious. It was full of imperfections, but they end the match with 6 tries, and Japan almost shortchanged with just the 10 points to their name. Timoney put his hand up for further selection, and the impact of the Irish bench, beyond doubt, came on with an exclamation mark. But after 80 minutes of the Quilter Nations series on a Saturday lunchtime in Dublin, the full time here at the Aviva Stadium is Ireland 41, Japan 10. Now, Rory, your Quilter player of the match, if you will.
Yeah, the Quilter player of the match today, it was really close for me between Werner Derns and the man who is going to be Tommy O'Brien. Tommy O'Brien has been incredible today. He's been hungry, looking for the ball. He's been very good at the breakdown, very good in the air. We talked about the line-out maul. He got the try, and barring the bench, there's very few people that started that come out with massive credit, and he is definitely one of them. He has nailed himself on there as one of Ireland's most important back 3 players.
It's a scoreline that certainly flatters Ireland, doesn't it? 6 tries to 1. But what they will take a huge amount from is the impact of the bench. Okay, maybe Japan were starting to tire, but the impact that both Prendergast made, that Jack Conan made, McCarthy getting the try, really good from them. And if you are to take positives, it's a victory. It's another victory here at the Aviva Stadium. And some good stuff to take into the next 2 weeks, but they have to do an awful lot of work on the training ground to fix some of the major issues, particularly at line-out time, and just the accuracy of the individual taking responsibility for holding the ball. You cough up that much possession, so hard to get any momentum in any game.
Well, 24 unanswered points rather masked the deficiencies in that performance from Ireland. And you mentioned as well about the fortress here. The 45th victory out of 49 in the last 9 years for Ireland. And, well, it's easy to lose perspective as an Irish fan as well, because if you go back to the 1990s, they won just 16 of 41, so...
Yeah, I think it's kind of one of those, isn't it? It still feels like today there's more questions than answers, albeit 41 points is still, there's some good bits in it, but I do think they will be a little bit frustrated with it.
Well, the returning captain, Caelan Doris, has delivered a victory, but the man who was integral was the Quilter player of the match, Tommy O'Brien.
Well, Tommy, it was a tough start to the autumn for you guys as a squad last weekend. Firstly, how much satisfaction and relief comes with this win on home soil today?
Definitely. We were disappointed in the result last week and the performance. Felt like we didn't really fire any shots, and it was really disappointing because we had an amazing support over there. So this week, in front of a home crowd, we wanted to put a better performance together.
I mean, they made you work for it, especially in that first half. Talk about that opening quarter, maybe, because stats were heavily in their favour, especially in terms of attack. So, Penny, for your thoughts at that stage?
Yeah, we were probably just in our own way. So, Faz talked at half time about getting out of our own way, backing ourselves, and I think we did that pretty well in the second half.
Yeah, you brought a fair bit of energy in that second 40. It was a much better second half. But in terms of the plan today, what was it and how well was it implemented? Because it looked a little unstructured at times, I guess.
Yeah, obviously there's a few new guys coming into the team, so it's always going to be the way, but we're building. We want to stress ourselves to play a nice, expansive brand of rugby, so there's going to come areas with that, but obviously, hopefully, as the games go on, we improve.
Yeah, talking about the games going on, Australia next, of course, then the world champions coming to town, both likely to be bigger tests than today. Where are you at the moment as a squad heading into those?
Yeah, we're excited. Obviously, as I said, there's the disappointment of last week, but we know that we had 3 great games at home in front of our fans to come, so it's 1 down and 2 big ones to come, as you said.
Absolutely. Congratulations. Well done,
Thanks very much. Cheers.
Yeah, there's the start of a busy old day here on TNT. Rugby all the way through to Paris, France against South Africa coming your way tonight over on TNT Sports 2. There, we fancy a wee break from rugby for a few minutes. You got the sprint race in MotoGP, penultimate round in their championship. Mark Marquez has already bagged it. Sprint race is great crack. It's half the distance of a normal race. Loads is overtaking. You're going to enjoy that. You can stream it all on Discovery Plus. Another blow for Ireland, you'd have to say, Tommy Bowe, is that Jamie Osborne was really clutching his elbow, which means maybe it was his shoulder that was injured. He was on the laughing gas on the bench. I mean, we're not doctors, but is he going to play the rest of the series? I don't know, and he is a star.
He is, and we're certainly not laughing, because that's the problem with games like this, that you do pick up big injuries. And as Tommy O'Brien just mentioned there, they've got 2 huge matches ahead against Australia next weekend, and then the big one up against South Africa. Not the most perfect of performances here from Ireland. Lots of guys got an opportunity. You can see Japan are walking behind us here. They have got a whole host of fans here in Dublin playing some really exciting rugby, and we wish them all the very best against Wales next weekend, because they have a big one coming.
Let's not forget, it was a 7-point game at half-time, and they were so entertaining. Japan played all the rugby in the first half. That's where the worry is for Ireland at the moment, right? That first half, not the second.
No, second half was good. First half was just that combinations, the accuracy. We know it's the same as over in Chicago. The ideas are right. What they're trying to do is right from an Irish point of view. It's just execution. And that is where Andy Farrell has got his biggest problem. And against the top teams like in Australia, South Africa, you have to be at your very best. And you don't get many opportunities at international rugby. When you get them, when they come, you got to take them.
The key headline in the team room on Monday for Ireland, what's it going to be?
I think it's going to be back to basics. They need one thing that was really good. Second half, a lot of guys came off the bench and really impressed. I think the 2 Prendergasts played brilliant. I think up front, Gus McCarthy came on, went really well. Jack Conan as well. So they do have those players that can come back in and breathe life back into this Ireland team. But there's just still that question mark about, can they bring out and be back at the best, back what we've seen maybe 2 years ago from this Irish team.
Tommy, thanks so much. Get yourself to Italia, because it's Scotland against New Zealand next. Emma Dodds, all yours.
Thank you, Craig. Well, the atmosphere here at Scottish Gas Murrayfield is absolutely jumping. And you know why? It's because the All Blacks are in town for the 3rd time in 8 years. And these Scotland players believe they have what it takes to become the first ever Scotland side to to beat the All Blacks. Join us after the break for all of the build-up to what could be an historic day here in Edinburgh. Don't get me wrong, Scotland have come close in recent times. My mind goes back to 2017 when Doddy Weir delivered the match ball not long after his MND diagnosis. The players that day channeled their emotions to almost scale the biggest mountain. They couldn't do it that day, but can today be that day? These players take a step further.
What a setup we have here at Murrayfield. It is an intriguing second half in prospect. 2 tries now for the All Blacks, long way back for Scotland. Johnny Gray, Johnny scored! Hugh Jones now for the try, and they still